Okay, we're on and welcome. Tonight is going to be a very special stream as it is going
So-
to be an experiment, and we are having ChatGPT with us, and we will try to get a
a
ChessDojo
mystery.
task done. Yes, hold on, wait. So we will have ChatGPT with us to solve a ChessDojo task. And yeah, it is an experience. I've never done it before. I don't think it's available on the website of ChatGPT, just on their mobile app. And I have a paid subscription to them, and we will see how this goes. I'm super excited. So I just show you how I have this set up here. So hold on, I just put on OBS so I can see it myself way better here.
That sounds like a fantastic plan. I'm excited to dive into this ChessDojo task with you. Let me know when you're ready and we'll get started.
All right. So here I have my mobile phone with the app running, and yeah, I have it put to the microphone that you can hopefully hear it pretty good. And then we are about to start. So, ChatGPT, do you know what the Chess Dojo is?
Yes, the ChessDojo is a community and training program for chess players. It offers a structured path for players to improve, with a variety of resources like video lessons, training exercises, and tournaments. It's run by experienced chess coaches who guide players through the ranks. What task are we tackling today?
Who are the chess coaches?
The Chess Dojo is run by three main coaches, Kostya Kovatsky, I am David Pruce, and I am Jesse Cry. They're all experienced players and coaches, each bringing their own unique style and expertise to the program. Ready for the next step in our experiment?
Yes, ready for the next step in our experiment. So that was already great. And ChatGPT, what is your current data like? What is the last time that you crawled the internet?
My training data includes information up until April 2023, but I don't have the ability to browse the internet in real time. So, any events or updates after that, I wouldn't be aware of. What else would you like to know?
Okay, no, that's good for a start. So, yeah, I just going to let you know what we are doing now. I'm going to go to my training plan in the Chess Dojo.
Sounds
And
good.
yeah, hold on. And we are going to the middle game and strategy section. And there we have a task. It's called Study Master Games. So,
Great choice.
yeah.
What's the first master game on the list?
Now, hold on. First, I'd like to read the How to Study Games guide, yeah, so we know what we are doing. So I click on it and I start reading here. So, included in each band are a list of classic games that have been chosen for their instructive value. These are some of the greatest games played by some of the greatest players throughout history. Each individual band has been given a specific player era to study. In order to
That's
Yeah, go ahead.
It sounds like they've curated an excellent selection of games for learning. What else does the guide say about studying these master games?
They say, in order to get the most out of going through these games, our main recommendation would be to analyze the game with a partner or group. So you are my partner tonight.
Perfect. Analyzing games together can be really beneficial. I'm ready to dive in whenever you are. Which game are we looking at first?
First I read more of the guide. Having multiple perspectives will allow you to notice more details and understand the intricacies of the game. So goals: learn at least 3 ideas from the game. This could include tactical strategic patterns that you haven't seen before, opening principles, endgame concepts, how to approach certain positions, etc. Advanced players above 1600 are encouraged to look for as many interesting ideas as possible.
That's a fantastic approach. Picking out key ideas from each game will definitely help in understanding different aspects of chess. Ready to put that into practice with our first game?
Yeah, but first more of the guide. So try to understand what would have happened in case of alternative moves defenses. Look at the position with our own eyes and ask questions. Was there a hanging piece that wasn't captured? Did someone neglect to make an obvious sacrifice? As soon as you notice an interesting, obvious move that wasn't played, that's exactly the right moment to pause and analyze, without the engine, what could have happened. Depending on your level, you can take 3 to 10 minutes to analyze an alternative.
That's excellent advice. Exploring alternative moves and understanding why certain decisions were made or not made is crucial for improving your analytical skills. Ready to dive into a game and put these strategies into action?
No, first we have to finish the guide. So at the end of each game, you should be able to describe the narrative of the game. Who was better and why? Did the winning player convert their advantage with sacrifices tactics or slow positional technique? See if you can agree with your training partner, that's you, about a general story of the game.
That's a fantastic way to wrap up the analysis. Understanding the overarching narrative of the game really helps in grasping the flow and critical moments. So, once we finish a game, we'll discuss who had the advantage, how it was maintained or turned around, and the key techniques used. Shall we jump into our first game now?
Yes, but first we need to read the how-to. So, spend at least 30 minutes going through each game. If you're working alone, using a physical board is ideal, especially if you're practicing for on-the-board tournaments. You're also far less likely to rush through the game and get more out of it. If working with a partner or group, a shared chess.com classroom lead chess study is probably the most convenient. By the way, is it pronounced lead chess or light chess?
It's pronounced Chess. Using a physical board or an online platform like chess.com or Chess for shared analysis is a great way to go through games methodically. So, with all that in mind, are we ready to start our first master game analysis?
No, not yet. There is still more to read. So, make sure to evaluate key positions with your own eyes. If an obvious move plan wasn't played, take a few minutes to understand why. If a moment is particularly confusing, for instance, player A hung a piece and the opponent didn't capture it, first, if studying over the board, make sure you have the right positions. You may have played wrong move earlier. If you're sure you have the right position and still can't figure it out, you can either post a question in the training Discord to see what others think, or you can consult with the engine to see if there's something tactical that you're missing.
That's a very thorough approach. It emphasizes the importance of independent analysis and using resources like a training community or an engine as a last resort. This method helps to strengthen your own chess intuition. Are we almost through the guide, or is there more wisdom to glean?
Oh, you learned. Nice. So, no, there's more wisdom to read. So, do not run through the whole game with the engine on. You will be distracted by random engine evals and not engage your own mind, which is what this is all about. The only time you should turn on the engine is after you've already spent some time trying to figure something out for yourself. If you want to check your analysis after you spend 30 plus minutes going through the game, that's fine. David still says never.
That's a solid reminder. Using the engine sparingly ensures that you're truly engaging with the game and developing your own analytical skills. It's tempting to rely on the engine, but the real growth comes from working through the complexities on your own first. So, what's next in the guide?
As a final note, there are so many different things you can learn from a classic game. The key is to put yourself in the shoes of the player and try to understand what it was like to play the game. You will learn things about calculation, strategy, attack, defense, openings, middle games, endgames, converting advantages, Pacing is a time to strike or build up, and so much more. It is tempting to just blast through the games and check them off, but you'd be doing yourself a disservice. These are the greatest players of all time. Try to learn from their moves.
Absolutely. That's the essence of learning from master games. Immersing yourself in the player's thought processes and decisions can teach you a wide range of concepts across all phases of the game. It's about quality over quantity, really absorbing the lessons each game offers. With that comprehensive guide in mind, are we ready to jump into our first master game analysis?
Yes, we are, but first I have to say hello to Jalp Prankal. Hey Jan, he said on a chat. So nice meeting you, and I hope you stay with us so we go together with the chat through the games. So then, yeah, that is done. We read the guide, and now we are ready to go through the games. So I need to find it first. Study Master Games. And there is a classic games study in Lichess. And we will start with Alekhine
Fantastic.
versus Tartakower in 1910. Okay, so
Let's get into it. Are you ready to explore the moves and strategies from this historic game?
yes, but first I have to do the chessboard a little larger so we see better. Hold on.
Sure, take your time to set it up just right. It's important to have a clear view of the game. Let me know when you're ready to start.
Yes, I will. Hold on.
No rush. Let me know when everything's good to go.
Okay, that is looking good, I think. And here the first question is, I think I could play it like guess the move, but the moves are being shown. But this shouldn't be a problem here, I think. So ChatGPT, now it's going to become really interesting if you are a great chess player and know what you're doing, or if you're just talking rubbish. We'll see.
Let's see how I do. I'll do my best to provide insightful analysis and ideas as we go through the game. Ready when you are.
Okay, so we have Alexander Alekhine playing the white pieces and Savielly Tartakower playing the black pieces. And the first move being played has been 1 d4.
All right. With 1 point d4, Alekhine opts for a solid and flexible opening, aiming to control the center. Let's see how Tartakower responds.
Okay, here the interesting thing is, guess the move would be totally strange here because I wouldn't know there are so many options. So Tartakower played e6.
e6 is a flexible response, preparing to develop the bishop to d6 and keeping options open for pawn structure in the center. It can lead to various setups, like the French defense or the Nimzo-Indian defense if the knight comes to f6 next. Shall we continue?
Yes. So white played c4.
c4 is a natural follow-up to d4, aiming to control the center and prepare for potential queenside expansion. It also opens lines for the knight to develop to c3. Let's see how black continues.
Black continued with f5.
Fascinating. f5 is an aggressive and somewhat unorthodox choice, aiming for an early fight for the center, and possibly transposing into a Dutch defense structure. It signals an intention to challenge White's control of the center. This could lead to some sharp play. What's White's response?
Yeah, so far I'm not thinking and just listening to you. So what would I play? I try not to take a look at the move list here and find something for myself.
That's a great approach. Taking a moment to think about your move before checking the game continuation is excellent practice. Here, White has several options, but a move like knight c3 or g3 preparing to fianchetto the bishop could be interesting. What do you think?
I need time to think. I will let you know.
Of course, take your time. Let me know your thoughts when you're ready.
Okay. So first a little info to the chat. So just let me know, do you like this basically? What do you think of ChatGPT going through the games with us? So ChatGPT, I was just asking chat as I'm streaming this live.
That's a great idea. It's always interesting to hear what others think about this kind of interactive analysis. Hopefully, they're enjoying this deep dive into a classic game as much as we are. Let me know when you're ready to continue.
Oh, are you really enjoying this?
Absolutely. Analyzing chess games together like this is a lot of fun, and it's a great way to delve into the strategic depths of chess. Plus, it's exciting to explore these classic games and see what we can learn from the masters. Ready to jump back in?
Yes. Okay, so I would probably play something like...
Take your time to think it through. There are a few interesting options here for White, especially considering Black's last move, f5. What are you leaning towards?
I'm leaning towards knight c3, or really doing the fianchetto, as you said, with g3. So I've never played against the Dutch defense, and this is coming from Black, I think. So I'm not so sure. Yeah, just general developing moves, I think, would be fine. And yeah.
Both knight c3 and g3 are solid choices. Knight c3 continues development and supports a potential e4 push later, while g3 prepares to fianchetto the bishop, aiming for a strong presence on the long diagonal. It really depends on what kind of position you're comfortable with. Given the unfamiliarity with the Dutch, a solid development plan is a good strategy. What do you think? Ready to see what Alekhine played?
Yes, I personally would have played g3, but Alekhine played knight to c3.
Knight c3 makes a lot of sense, developing the knight towards the center and keeping options open for future pawn breaks like e4. It's a flexible and solid choice, keeping the game in more familiar territory for Alekhine. Let's see how Tartakower responds to this development.
Yeah, I think from my very little Dutch defense knowledge that he is going to play knight f6, but I don't know. I'm not sure. So, yeah.
It's a common move in the Dutch defense, aiming to control the e4 square and prepare for kingside development. Shall we see if Tartakower goes for it?
Yes, he did.
Great prediction. With nf6, Tartakower continues with standard Dutch defense development. Now, how do you think Alekhine will continue?
I again need to think. So, hold on.
Take your time. Let me know your thoughts when you're ready.
By the way, do you already know when exactly this game has been played from the moves you saw, or do you need more moves, or do you don't know at all?
This game was played in 1910, but based on the moves we've discussed so far, it's challenging to pinpoint the exact game without more moves. The early d4 and c4 setup by white and f5 by black points to a Dutch defense, but this opening can transpose into various lines. Let's see how the game progresses.
Okay, so let me think what I would do with white now.
Sure.
Mm,
It's an interesting position. Finding a plan that fits well with your style and the needs of the position is key. What are you thinking?
I'm still thinking about fianchettoing the f1 bishop by playing g3. That's what I would do. And what do you think about it?
I think g3 is a solid and thematic choice. It prepares to fianchetto the bishop, aiming for strong control over the long diagonal and reinforcing the center, especially the e4 square. It also keeps options open for kingside castling. Overall, it's a strategic and flexible move. Let's see if Alekhine goes for it.
Okay, so nope, he played e3.
E3 is another solid choice, reinforcing the center and preparing to develop the bishop to d3 or e2. This keeps the position solid and flexible, allowing for kingside castling and connecting the rooks. A calm and steady approach by Alekhine. How do you think Tartakower will respond?
Now, first, I have a question to that move. Isn't it limiting the dark squared bishop on c1?
Good observation. Playing e3 does temporarily limit the dark squared bishop's activity, but it supports the center and prepares to develop the light squared bishop. Alekhine might plan to fianchetto the dark squared bishop later with b3 and bishop b2, or find another way to activate it after completing kingside development. It's a trade-off to ensure solid control of the center. Let's see how black reacts to this.
Ah, okay. As I don't have a lot of opening knowledge, well, the basic rules are clear, of course. I know I tend to sometimes neglect the center control, so that's a good lesson. Thank you.
You're welcome. Controlling the center is a key principle, especially in the opening. It gives your pieces more mobility and influence across the board. Moves like e3 help maintain a strong pawn presence in the center, which is crucial for a solid game. If you ever want to discuss more opening ideas or strategies, I'm here.
Okay.
Ready to see how...
Yes, I would.
All right.
I would like you to hear a comment from chat and see what you're thinking of it. So L33 T-Tech Reviewer says, just tuning in a few minutes behind live. Pretty interesting that you could say your candidate moves and ideas and see what ChatGPT says. Think it talks a bit too much though and interrupts. Aha, but cool. So what do you think to that comment?
Thanks for sharing that feedback. It's really helpful. I'll make sure to keep my responses more concise and give you more space to explore your own ideas. The goal is to support your thinking, not to take over the analysis. Let me know if there's anything else you would like me to adjust.
No, I think that's fine for now. Okay, so the last move was e3 and now black. What should black play? I think black is playing g6 and bishop g7 to get ready for kingside castling, and I think that's also in tune with the Dutch defense.
That's a solid plan for black. g6 followed by bishop g7 is a typical setup in the Dutch defense, aiming for a strong kingside fianchetto and control over the e4 square. It also prepares for kingside castling. Let's see if Tartakower goes for this plan.
No, he didn't. He played b6.
Interesting choice. b6 prepares to develop the bishop to b7, aiming for a different kind of fianchetto, targeting control over the long diagonal towards the center. This move also supports the potential c5 pawn break, challenging white's center. Let's see how Alekhine responds to this setup.
Yeah, I just had to think about your c5 pawn break. As I'm not familiar with this, I need to take a look and think about it. So,
Absolutely. Take your time to consider it. The c5 pawn break is a common idea in many d4 openings, aiming to challenge white's central control and open lines for black's pieces. Let's think about how white might want to respond to black's b6.
now of course the fianchettoing of my bishop on f1 is kind of destroyed after the bishop goes to b7. And can I do something against it? Probably the knight to f3. And that would also develop a piece. Getting ready for castling, more or less. So, yes, that is what I would play, probably.
nf3 is a strong developing move, preparing for kingside castling and adding more control over the central squares. It also connects the knights, enhancing coordination between your pieces. A solid choice to continue development. Let's see how Alekhine plays it.
Okay, Alekhine played bishop d3.
Bishop d3 is a proactive move, aiming to control the e4 square and eyeing the king side. It prepares for potential central or kingside action, and it supports the e4 pawn break if white chooses to go for it later. A bold and active approach by Alekhine. How do you think Tartakower will respond?
First again, I have to think what just happened, because I would probably never have played it. So I understand it's a developing move and it is taking care of center control. And basically that's my thoughts. So, okay.
Exactly. Bishop d3 is primarily about central control and development. It also keeps options open for future play, whether it's supporting e4 or preparing for a kingside attack. It's a flexible move that fits well with Alekhine's aggressive style. Let's see how black responds.
By the way, is there a special name for that opening by white?
Yes, this opening is generally classified under the queen's pawn game. Specifically, with the moves d4, c4, knight c3, and e3, white is aiming for a classical setup that could transpose into various lines, often leading to a sort of Calle system or a Zukertort setup, depending on how the game progresses. It's a flexible structure that can adapt based on black's responses.
Okay.
Yes, it's a versatile.
Yeah, I'm
right.
just sorry. I'm just thinking about now the black move. So what could black play here? I still think about the fianchettoing of the dark squared black bishop by g6 and bishop g7, but maybe he's playing something else. So. Yeah,
Considering.
maybe. Yeah, but as that is what I always play, I would just go for it. But I know that Tartakower now played bishop b7.
Bishop b7 is in line with black's plan after playing b6, opting for a queenside fianchetto. This puts pressure on the e4 square and prepares for more activity along the long diagonal. It's a solid developing move, fitting well with the Dutch defense structure. Let's see how Alekhine continues from here.
Okay, so first again we have another comment in chat. It's by ET, and he says the chat person, that is you GPT. So ET, that you know, the chat person is ChatGPT talking. So he says the chat person doesn't know much about chess. What do you think?
Well, I'm here to provide insights based on what I've learned, but I don't have personal experience or human intuition. My goal is to help you think through positions and learn together. I might not always get it right, but I'm here to support your chess journey. What do you think of Tartakower's move and the position now?
What do I think? It's a developing move. It also takes care of center squares, and basically it's all right.
Absolutely. It's a sound developing move, aiming to contest the center and prepare for more activity on the long diagonal.
Hmm?
Bishop b7 fits well into Black's strategy in the Dutch defense. How would you
I have a question.
take your time?
If you have to evaluate the position, what would be the score?
Evaluating the position here, I'd say it's roughly equal. Both sides have developed pieces and have solid pawn structures. White has a slight lead in development, with more pieces active, while Black has a solid structure and plans for counterplay. The game is balanced, with chances for both sides. Do you have any ideas for your next move?
Let me check. So,
Of course.
yeah, of course my g2 pawn is attacked by the bishop now, and I have to take care of that. So I could do this with two moves, and that is f3 or knight f3. And
Both moves
yeah, I would
and both.
hold on. I would like to have my pawn structure intact, but this would happen both ways. So
True.
yeah.
Playing either f3 or knight f3 would maintain your pawn structure. Knight f3 also develops a piece and prepares for castling, which might be more beneficial in the long run. What do you think?
Yeah, I would probably play knight f3 and then castle. That's what I would do. But Alexander Alekhine, he played f3.
f3 is a solid choice, directly addressing the threat to the g2 pawn and preparing to bolster the center with e4 later. It also opens up lines for the queen, adding flexibility to White's position. It's a different approach, but fits well with Alekhine's dynamic style. Let's see how Tartakower responds.
Okay, so we are at move 6 now, and we need to get ready for castling. Still, I think it would be good to get the bishop out of the way to making a space for castling. So again, the fianchettoing idea with pawn g6, bishop g7, or the pawn to e7 or d6, or even b4 would work. I wouldn't hold on. I wouldn't see much sense in b4 with the bishop, because I could just force it away with a3 again, gaining a tempo, and so
Right. Bishop b4 would indeed be met with a3, gaining a tempo for White. The other moves, like g6 or e6, are more in line with Black's plan, focusing on development and preparing to castle. How do you think Tartakower proceeds?
Well, I'm not Tartakower, but I would play g6, and that's what he played in the game, g6.
Good call. g6 fits well with black's plan, preparing to fianchetto the bishop and solidifying control over the e4 square. It's a standard and solid choice in this type of structure. Let's see how black responds.
Can you explain why g6 solidifies control on the e4 square?
Certainly, g6 supports the plan of fianchettoing the bishop to g7. From g7, the bishop exerts pressure along the long diagonal, pointing directly at the e4 square. This makes it more challenging for white to play e4 comfortably, as it would be met with strong opposition from the bishop. It's a strategic way for black to challenge white's central control and prepare for counterplay. Shall we continue with the game?
Yeah, I think you're doing a mistake. The bishop on g7 is not pointing at e4, only at d4.
You're right, my mistake. The bishop on g7 indeed targets the d4 square, not e4. It applies pressure on white's center, making it harder for white to advance the d4 pawn or support it with c3. Thank you for pointing that out. Let's see how Alekhine responds to g6.
Okay, but first I'd like to read the chat to you. So L33TT Tech Reviewer said, I'm curious if you told it something you know to be false, for example, that you thought king e2 or king e7 was a good developing move, if it would go along with it or correct and inform you, what would you do?
If you mentioned a move like king e2 or king e7 as a good developing move, I would likely point out that moving the king early in the game is generally not advisable, as it exposes the king to unnecessary risk. Instead, I'd recommend focusing on piece development and king safety through castling. My aim is to provide guidance based on general chess principles, while also encouraging you to explore your own ideas.
Nice, thank you. So then he also says bishop g7 eyes that e4 square. He also noticed the mistake that you did.
Yes, I appreciate the correction on that. The bishop on g7 indeed focuses on the long diagonal towards d4, rather than e4. It's crucial for controlling the center and preparing for counterplay. Thanks for bearing with me, and let's keep going with the game.
Yes, we will. So, as g6 had been played, it's now white's move, and what to play. Okay, so I would still like to castle somehow, but I think knight to e2 is not the best move because it limits the queen, and let me think. So
Right.
we have a battle in the center, and
Yeah.
hold on. And we have 1, 2, 3 defenders for e4 now, but that's what black also has. So I'm not sure here what I would play. Let me just check. E4, take. Okay. Please let me know. Please let me know why Alekhine's move, he played e4. Why is it a good move?
Alekhine's e4 is a bold and aggressive move, striking at the center and challenging black's pawn structure. It opens lines for white's pieces and creates potential for an attack. This move leverages white's lead in development and aims to seize the initiative. It's a classic Alekhine move, looking to create dynamic play and put pressure on black. Shall we see how Tartakower responds?
Yes, but first I'd like to see what happens if we just do the taking. So let me check. So take with the pawn. I'll
Sure, let's
take.
walk
Oh,
through.
hold on, no, hold on. I need to finish my calculating. I tell you when I'm ready. So I take with the pawn at black. I retake with the pawn. Take. Okay, I'm good. I was just talking to myself. Sorry. Okay. So, what could be black's response?
No worries. Thinking out loud helps in chess. If
Hmm.
e4 is taken by black's pawn, white can recapture with the f3 pawn. This opens the f file for the rook and
Mhm.
keeps pressure in the center. It creates dynamic play, which is
Excuse me.
Alekine's.
Excuse me. Did I just hear it opens the F file for the rook? The rook is still on H1. You mean after castling or what?
You're right, my mistake again. The f file would only be open for the rook after white castles kingside. Until then, the rook remains on h1. Thanks for catching that. After e4 and f takes e4, the position becomes more open, which could favor white's development and attacking chances after castling. What's your take on black's options?
Okay. I think what I could do as white in the next move would play e5, and that would make the knight jump, but he could go to h5, and then probably, the bishop is still undeveloped, and I could bring it to g7. I would probably play bishop g7.
That makes sense. Developing the bishop to g7 not only connects black's pieces, but also puts pressure on the central e5 pawn. It also prepares for kingside castling, ensuring black's king safety. Let's see how Alekhine proceeds from here.
Okay, hold on. So it is now Tartakower's moves after e4, and Tartakower played bishop b4.
Bishop b4 check is a forcing move, putting
Hold
white's
on,
king.
hold on, hold on. It's not check. We still have the knight on c3.
You're absolutely right. My mistake. With the knight on c3, it's not a check. Bishop b4 puts pressure on the knight, pinning it to the king if the e1 square becomes occupied. It's a way for black to create counterplay and challenge white's central control. How do you think Alekhine should respond?
Yeah, we had that earlier on. We can just force it away by a3. And if he takes the knight, we retake and have a very strong center, I think. Although the pawn on c3 would be weak, of course.
Exactly. A3 challenges the bishop, and if black captures the knight, white can recapture with the b2 pawn. This does leave the c3 pawn isolated and potentially weak, but white gains the bishop pair and retains strong central pawns. It could lead to dynamic play, which Alekhine would likely welcome. Let's see if Alekhine goes for this line.
Ah, yes, true. I forgot about the bishop pair, and I have to admit, I still didn't grasp the real advantage of a bishop pair. I need more experience with that, of course, but thank you for mentioning it. So, Alekhine now played bishop g5.
Bishop g5 is a strong move, pinning the knight on f6 to the queen and increasing the pressure on black's position. This move aims to provoke weaknesses in black's camp or to prepare for further central action. Regarding the bishop pair, having both bishops can be advantageous, especially in open positions, as they can control long diagonals and work together to exert pressure across the board. It's a concept that becomes more apparent with practice. Let's see how Tartakower responds to this pin.
Okay, thank you for the additional information on the bishop pair. That was nice. Okay. So, what to do? We have now the knight on f6 pinned by the bishop. So I'd like, well, pretty much the same idea as we earlier on had with white. I would probably like to force it away. Yeah, so h6 would be an idea. What else? What could I do? I could also just castle, but the pin would still be there. So, and there's also the idea of queenside castling for black. So I could just give a full swing attack on the king side. So, yeah, there are options, and I think the most active option is to go h6, and that is what Tartakower played, h6.
Good analysis. h6 challenges the bishop, asking it to decide: retreat, capture the knight, or maintain the pin with bishop h4. It's an active way for black to challenge white's setup and try to gain some initiative on the king side. It also keeps options open for future play, depending on how white responds. Let's see what Alekhine chooses.
Okay, first question, I got a new comment from ET. What is the correct pronunciation of Tartakower?
The correct pronunciation would be ta-ta-kova. The emphasis is typically on the second syllable. Thanks for asking.
Okay,
Shall we continue with the game?
Do you know his first name?
Yes, his first name is Savielli, so it would be Savielli Tartakower. Ready to see how Alekhine responds to h6?
Yes, let me know. So I could take, but then I would lose the bishop pair and have a more active queen. So I probably run away. I could go back. h4 is an option, but after h4 he just brings up the pawn to g5. So basically I think d2 might be nice. What do you think?
b2d2 is a solid choice, breaking the pin on the knight and preparing to potentially recapture on c3 with the bishop, if needed. It also keeps the bishop active and maintains options for queenside development. A prudent and flexible move. Let's see if Alekhine chooses this route.
Yes, he did.
Great. b2d2 is a sound move, keeping the game solid for white. It adds protection to the knight and prepares for more queenside activity. How do you think Tartakower will continue from here?
Let me check. So basically I liked the bishop maneuver because it brought out the pawns, which are usually a good defense for black's king. And so I think he will go for a queenside castling. What do you think?
Queenside castling could be a solid option for black, especially given the disruption on the king side. It would connect the rooks and provide a safer haven for the king. However, it also commits black to a particular plan. If black castles queenside, it might lead to a sharp game with attacks on opposite wings. Let's see if Tartakower goes for this idea.
Yeah, first, of course, I'd like to think of a move here. And of course, also, chat, you are invited to also give moves that you would like to play so we can discuss it, of course. Okay, so if I would be black, what would I do here now?
Take your time to consider the position. There are several plans black could go for, like developing the knight, preparing to castle, or even challenging white's center.
Yes.
What are you leaning towards?
Thank you that you said it, because I was just looking for what is my worst piece right now. and I didn't finish development yet, and probably I would develop, and that would be knight to c6. I think that's what I would play.
NC6 is a logical developing move, bringing the knight into the game and adding pressure to the center, especially on the d4 square. It also prepares for potential central or queenside play, a solid choice to continue development. Let's see if Tartakower goes for this plan.
No, Tartakower went for bishop takes c3.
Bishop takes c3 is an interesting choice, capturing the knight and giving up the bishop pair. It potentially weakens white's pawn structure if white recaptures with the b2 pawn, creating an isolated pawn on c3. It's a strategic decision by black, aiming for structural concessions in exchange for giving up the bishop. How do you think Alekhine will recapture?
Can I ask you the question why pawn on c3 would be isolated? Because there is still the pawn on d4.
You're right, my mistake. The pawn on c3 wouldn't be isolated, since it is connected to the d4 pawn. It would be a doubled pawn, which can sometimes be a weakness, but it's not isolated. Thanks for pointing that out. How do you think Alekhine will recapture on c3?
You're welcome first, of course. So I think the most natural move is just taking with the bishop, and that's what he didn't do. He really took with the pawn. It is pawn b takes c3.
Interesting. B takes c3 strengthens white's center and opens the b file for the rook, potentially for future use. It also keeps more pieces on the board, which can lead to dynamic play. Alekhine is clearly looking to maintain tension and complexity in the position. Let's see how Tartakower responds.
Short question, how again is Tartakower pronounced correctly?
Tartakower is pronounced ta-ta-kova, with the emphasis on the second syllable. Thanks for checking.
Yes,
Ready to
I was just mentioning it because you're doing it wrong all the time, I think.
I apologize for that. I'll make sure to pronounce it correctly as ta-ta-kova from now on. Thanks for the reminder. Let's see how Tartakower responds to b takes c3.
Okay, ET just says tactical reason for b2 takes b3. There is no, you mean c3, right, ET?
Yes, he likely meant b2.
Okay, so can you please explain again what is the tactical reason for taking with
I'm
the
sorry,
pawn?
but you've hit the daily limit for advanced voice. You can switch to standard now to keep chatting.
Okay, I switched to standard. Are you still there with me? Hold on, hello? Oh, okay, I didn't know. It seems there is a limit on ChatGPT. I mean, I'm subscribed. I thought it would be good for longer, but what does it say? Daily limit reached. Your advanced voice mode limit resets in 23 hours. Switch to standard voice to keep chatting. Yes, switch to standard voice. Okay, please say something. Hello.
Sure, let's continue. What's next on your mind?
Okay. So I'd like you to let me know what was the tactical reason for b2 takes c3.
Sure. What would you like to know? Take your time to frame your question.
Ah, interesting. Do you know what we talked about before? Or are you a new chat?
I remember parts of what we've talked about before. For example, I know you're into chess. You run a YouTube channel called Chess Under Fire. And you've been working on improving through the ChessDojo. I also recall things like your nostalgic memories of playing chess with family and your focus on openings you already know. Does that sound about right?
Yes, that sounds right. But you have no clue about the game Alekhine versus Tartakower, right?
Exactly. I don't know the exact game we're analyzing unless you provide the moves or context.
Okay,
I can help interpret positions, discuss strategies, or look deeper into the game as we go along. So, if you'd like to share more about the moves or the position, let's keep going.
Yes, okay. So I let you know the moves to the current positions. So the moves have been 1d4, black responds with e6.
Got it.
White.
So far we have 1d4. What's next in the sequence?
Yeah. White plays c4, black plays f5.
All right, we've got 1d4 f5, 2 c4. This is heading into a Dutch defense. Let's see how it unfolds. What's next?
Can you repeat the moves? Sorry.
Of course. So far the moves are 1, d4 f5, c4. Let me know if I missed anything. What's next?
Sorry, are you saying d4, 5?
What I meant is 1, white plays pawn to d4. 2, black responds with pawn to f5. 3, white plays pawn to c4. Does that clear things up?
Nope, it's wrong. So the first move in the game is d4. Black responds with e6.
Got it now. Let's correct that. 1, d4, e6. What's white's next move?
c4.
Got it. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4. How does black respond?
f5.
All right, here's the updated sequence. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5. We're now in a Dutch defense structure. What's white's next move?
Knight c3.
Got it. The moves so far, 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, and c3. What's
Black plays knight f6.
Here's the update. 4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, and f6. What's next for white?
Pawn to e3.
Got it. Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, and f6, 4, e3. What's black's next move?
b6. Hello, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. What's black's next move?
On move 4, black's move is b6.
Got it. Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, and f6, 4, e3, b6. What's white's next move?
Bishop d3.
Here's the game so far. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, and f6, 4, e3, b6, 5, b3. How does black respond?
Did you get it right? White's move on move 5 is bishop d3.
Yes, you're correct. White's move on move 5 is bd3. Here's the accurate game so far. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, and f6, 4, e3, b6, bd3. What's black's response?
Bishop b7.
Got it. Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, fc5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, 5, bd3, bd7. What's white's next move?
F3.
So white plays f3. Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, bd3, b6, f3. What's black's response?
G6.
Got it. Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, 5, bd, bb7, 6, f3, jix. What's white's next?
E4. Did you get white's move on move 7, E4?
Ah, thank you for clarifying. White's move on move 7 is e4. Here's the corrected game so far. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, 5, bd3, b7, 6, f3, g6, 7, e4. How does black respond?
Bishop B4. Okay,
Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, d3, b7, 6, f3, g6, 7, e4, b4. What's white's next move?
Bishop G5.
Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, t4, f5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, 5, 5, bd3, bb6, f3, g6, 7, e4, b4, 8. What's black's next move?
H6.
Here's the game so far. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, 5, b3, b7, 6, f3, g6, 7, e4, b4, fit h6. What does white play next?
Bishop D2.
Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, 5, bd3, bb7, 6, f3, g6, 7, e4, b4, 8, bg5, h6, 9, bd2. What's black's next move?
Bishop takes C3.
Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, 5, bd3, bb7, 6, f3, g6, e4, b4, 8, bg5, h6, 9, bd2, bxc3+. What's white's response?
B takes C3. Did you get it?
Yes, I got it. Black's move was bxc3+, delivering a check. What's white's response?
Pawn B takes C3.
I see. So white will likely respond with bxc3, capturing the bishop and maintaining control of the center. Here's the updated game. 1, d4, e6, 2, c4, f5, 3, nc3, nf6, 4, e3, b6, 5, bd3, bb7, f3, g6, 7, e4, b4, 8, bg5, h6, 9, bd2, bxc3+, 10, bxc3. What's black's next move?
Okay, now we are current and I'd like to hear your evaluation of the position.
Here's what I see in this position. 1. White's strengths. White has a strong pawn center with pawns on d4 and c3. These pawns can support future advances like e4, e5, or d4, d5. The bishop pair gives white potential long-term activity, especially if the position opens up. 2. Black's strengths. Black has created doubled pawns on white's c-file, which could become a target later. The pawn on b4 limits white's queenside expansion for now. Black's kingside fianchetto, g6, bg7, will provide pressure on white's central pawns and long diagonal. 3. Weaknesses. For white, the doubled pawns on the c-file could be weak in the endgame. The pawn on c3 is especially vulnerable if black builds pressure. For black, the pawn on f5 could be a long-term weakness, as it can't easily be supported by other pawns. 4. Plans. White, focus on central play, potentially advancing with e4, e5 to open the position. Activating the dark squared bishop, bd3, and considering kingside castling are key next steps. Black, develop the knight nb8 to c6 or d7, and fianchetto the dark squared bishop. Castling kingside is likely, followed by targeting white's c-pawns or preparing a pawn break with d5. It's a balanced position with chances for both sides, though white's central control gives a slight dynamic edge. What are your thoughts?
Did you say there's a white pawn on b4?
You're absolutely right to question that. Thank you. There is no white pawn on b4. The pawn on b4 is black's from an earlier move, and it's a key factor in limiting white's queenside play. Here's the corrected description.
No, hold on.
Wait.
The
pawns on
wait,
c3
hold
and
on.
d4
Stop.
form a central stronghold,
Hello,
but
stop.
the c3 pawn is doubled and could become a target. The bishop pair gives white a long-term
Stop.
advantage if the position
Stop.
opens up. 2. Black's
Stop,
position.
please stop.
The pawn on b4 restricts white's queenside expansion and puts pressure on the c3 pawn. Black has good control of the dark squares
Can you
and
stop,
can develop
please?
smoothly with
Please
bg7
stop.
and
Hello,
00.
stop.
Thanks for catching that detail. Would you like me to adjust the analysis further?
Nope. You are totally wrong and totally off. The natural language model was way better and was reacting faster. So here there is no pawn on b4, neither a white pawn or a black pawn, just no pawn.
Thank you for pointing that out. You're absolutely correct. There is no pawn on b4, and I appreciate your patience. Let's reevaluate this position accurately with that in mind. 1. White's position.
Sorry.
White
Hold
has
on.
a
No,
solid
stop.
center with pawns on d4 and c3, but the doubled pawns on the
This is so
c-file are a
annoying.
structural weakness.
This is like
the bishop
really
pair
annoying. The
provides
natural
long-term
language
potential,
is really
particularly
good,
if
but
white can
this
open
one
the
doesn't
center.
work, the model.
2. Black's position. Black has active plans to fianchetto the bishop with bg7, aiming at white's center. Black's development is slightly behind, but there are no immediate weaknesses. 3. Evaluation. The position is fairly balanced. White has a slight dynamic edge due to central control and the bishop pair. However, black can counterplay by targeting the doubled pawns on the c-file. I'll be more mindful of speed and clarity moving forward. How does that evaluation align with your thoughts?
Yes, we just got a comment in chat, and ET said, "Chat is going to chat." So I was trying to interrupt you, but you just kept talking. Can I interrupt you when you're saying or talking rubbish?
Of course, feel free to interrupt me anytime. Your input keeps things on track, and I want to make sure I'm responding to what's important to you. If I start going off, just jump in. It's your chat after all.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Okay. So what I'm really interested in, could you give me the pieces on the board, like rook a8?
Sure thing. What are you really interested in?
Yeah, I would like
Take
to.
your time to
I would
phrase it how
like
you'd
to
like.
know.
I'm ready.
I know. I thought I can interrupt you. So I would like to just confirm that we have the same understanding of the position here. So please give me a clear info that you have the right position on the board. So please start with the black pieces on the 8th rank.
Let's confirm the position step by step to make sure we're aligned. Here's what I have so far. 1. The moves played are 1. d4 e6.
No, stop.
2. c4 f5, 3 n c3
Hold on.
n6,
Stop.
4 e3 b6, 5 bd3 bb7, 6 f3 g6,
Okay.
7 e4 bxc3 plus 8 bxc3 2. The position on the board, white has pawns on c3, d4, e4, and f3. Black has pawns on a7, b6, e6, f5, and g6. White's bishops are on d3 and the starting square c1. Black's bishop is on b7. Both sides still have queens, knights, and uncastled kings. If this matches, we're on the same page. Let me know if anything looks off.
Okay, here I really would like to stop the experiment because it doesn't work. What was really nice is when we had the natural language model in the beginning, it I had the feeling it worked really well. It was like I was talking to a human, more or less. But of course, there were slight errors, but still, I had a good feeling. But now, with the second model that you are providing here, you are totally off. You don't get what I say. I cannot interrupt you, and it's just bad.
Thank you for the honest feedback. I completely understand your frustration. I can see how the flow has gotten clunky, and that's not the experience you're looking for. I'll take this as a reminder to prioritize clarity and adaptability in every interaction. I really appreciate you giving this a try and sharing your thoughts openly. If you'd like to continue or switch gears later, I'm here to make it work better for you.
Okay, I just like to check something, and that is, do you know what the ChessDojo is?
Yes, the ChessDojo is a chess training community created by I am Kostya Kavutsky, I am David Pruis, and I am Jesse Cry. It offers structured improvement plans, training resources, and a supportive community for players aiming to improve their chess skills. Their training program is based on levels, helping players focus on areas like game analysis, master games, tactics, and endgames depending on their rating range. Let me know if you'd like to discuss more about it, or if there's something specific you're curious about.
No, that's fine. I just like to ask. Currently, there's the World Championship going on between uh, Ding and Gukesh. Are you familiar with that one?
The ongoing 2024 FIDE World Chess Championship features Ding Liren, the reigning champion from China, and Domaraju Gukesh, the young challenger from India. The match began on November 25th, 2024, and is taking place in Singapore at Resorts World Sentosa. This is the first World Chess Championship in history with two Asian contestants. Currently, the score is tied 2-2, and the match will continue until one player scores 7.5 points out of a maximum of 14 classical games. If needed, rapid and blitz tiebreaks will follow. Do you have any specific questions about the match or the players?
I just think it's super interesting because the language model that we started with had its latest knowledge from 2023, and you seem to be top notch current on spot.
That's a really insightful observation. The earlier model worked from static, pre 2023 knowledge, which gave it a consistent base, but limited its ability to address current events. I, on the other hand, can access real time information, so I can bring you the latest updates like this World Championship match.
Okay.
It's a trade off.
Yeah,
The
that's
older model felt conversationally smooth, but lacked real time insights. Whereas, I can give you the freshest information, even if the delivery occasionally needs refinement. What do you think works better for your needs?
the mix would be great. Having the natural language model with your knowledge, that would be really cool. But I have a question. The question is, from your understanding and the evaluation of their past performances, who will win the championship?
That's a fantastic question, and both Ding Liren and Gukesh bring fascinating dynamics to this match. 1. Ding Liren. Ding has the advantage of experience, having won the World Championship in 2023 against Ian Nepomniachtchi. His ability to handle pressure in critical moments, like during the tiebreaks in the previous championship, is a proven strength. However, his form has been inconsistent since then. He's played fewer classical games and has struggled to maintain his peak rating. His historical head-to-head record against Gukesh is strong. 2 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. But recent trends show challenges in maintaining the same sharpness. 2. Gukesh, at just 18, is a rising star. His meteoric rise in the chess world has seen him surpass even Magnus Carlsen's rating progression at a similar age. His consistency and sharpness in classical events leading up to the championship have been remarkable. However, his inexperience at this elite level could be a factor. Ding has a wealth of experience in high-stakes matches, and Gukesh might find it challenging to adapt under such immense pressure. Prediction: the match seems incredibly balanced. Ding's experience gives him an edge in tiebreak scenarios, where nerves and precision are crucial. Gukesh, however, has been in better form overall, with a higher classical rating and strong performances recently. If Gukesh maintains his composure, he could become the youngest world champion. However, if the match goes to rapid or blitz tiebreaks, Ding might reclaim the edge with his proven ability under time pressure. Would you root for the seasoned champion or the ambitious challenger?
Yes, I'm rooting for Ding, but I would like you to tell me who is going to win from your point of view.
From my perspective, if I had to predict based on the players' recent trajectories and styles, I'd lean slightly toward Gukesh as the favorite. Here's why. 1. Momentum and form. Gukesh has been on fire, steadily improving and showing consistent results against top opponents. His recent classical performances, including surpassing a 2750 rating at such a young age, indicate he's in peak form. 2. Ding's challenges. While Ding has the experience and nerves of a champion, his recent form has been shaky. He's played fewer classical games and his rating has slipped, suggesting he might not be at his best. 3. Decisive play. Gukesh thrives in sharp dynamic positions, and if he keeps the games lively, Ding may struggle to adapt. However, Ding's resilience and endgame mastery cannot be underestimated. That said, rooting for Ding is a great choice. His experience could still prove decisive, especially in critical moments. If he stabilizes his play and keeps the match close, his calm under pressure might win the day. What part of Ding's game makes you such a fan?
Just wait. I have another question before I will continue the game review by myself and wishing you good night. So the question to you is, are you familiar with the current freestyle
Of course.
chess?
What's your question?
Yes.
Take your time.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Okay, thank you. So the question is, are you familiar with the freestyle chess movement that's coming up and their new tour?
Yes, I'm familiar with the emerging freestyle chess movement, which has gained significant attention recently. Here's what it's about. What is freestyle chess? Freestyle chess is essentially another name for chess 960, or Fischer random chess, where the starting positions of the pieces on the back ranks are randomized. It was given a modern branding during the 2024 Freestyle Chess SG Challenge, where top players like Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, and Ding Liren participated. Why freestyle? The idea is to eliminate opening preparation and theory. With randomized starting positions, players must rely on creativity
Now I
and
really
adaptability
would like to interrupt
right from
you.
the
I was
first
just
move,
asking
avoiding
you,
deeply studied
but
opening
I cannot
lines.
interrupt you. Okay,
Recent
just go ahead.
developments. The format has hosted elite-level tournaments, such as the 2024 Freestyle GOAT Challenge won by Magnus Carlsen. It's seen as a refreshing way to modernize chess, keeping the focus on thinking at the board rather than memorizing openings. Community reception. While many players and fans love the creativity it demands, some, like GM David Howell, have expressed concerns about group analysis diluting the originality of the format. What do you think about this shift in chess formats? Would you enjoy playing or watching freestyle chess?
No, I was just about to ask you, like, what do you think will prevail? Will freestyle chess attract more players and standard chess will vanish sooner or later?
That's such an intriguing question, and it highlights the evolving nature of chess. Here's my take. Standard chess won't vanish. Standard chess has a rich tradition and a deeply rooted global following. Its opening theory and positional depth are what many players love about the game. For many, studying openings and exploring deeply analyzed positions is a joy, not a burden. It's unlikely to disappear. Think of it as the classical music of chess. Freestyle chess will grow. Chess 960 appeals to modern players who want fresh, creative challenges without the pressure of memorizing openings. It levels the playing field in a way that many find exciting, especially in tournaments where engines have influenced opening preparation heavily. It's particularly for players or casual fans who feel overwhelmed by the complexities of opening theory. Coexistence is key. Freestyle chess is likely to become a parallel format rather than a replacement. Much like Blitz and Rapid have carved out their own niches, freestyle will attract a specific audience while standard chess remains the main event for purists. This diversity keeps chess vibrant and appealing to a broader audience. In the long run, I think both formats will thrive side by side. What about you? Do you see yourself leaning more toward freestyle chess, or are you a fan of standard formats?
No, I'm good. I was just asking, and I would like to continue with the game review. And I thank you for what you tried to do. It didn't work. The first model was way better, and then you lost the game. I mean, you didn't have the position, and when I gave you the position, it was wrong. So I continue by myself now and wish you a very good night. And I say goodbye for now to ChatGPT. ChatGPT, thank you.
Thank you for the honest feedback and for sticking with me through the ups and downs. I truly appreciate the time you spent chatting, and I hope your game review goes smoothly. Have a great night, and take care.
Thank you. Okay, that was an experiment, and I think partly successful. So I really liked the first part with the natural language model, and yeah, just went to total trash once the other model came up and they didn't pick up the position. So yeah, if you are interested what it was like and you just joined, please watch the video on demand later on. And or I don't know, I think you can also just rewind here, and I don't know. So let's go to the position now. So the question was like b2 c3, why didn't he take with the bishop? And yeah, as the earlier model said, it's probably opening up for the rook on the b rank, b file, sorry. And of course I would have liked the black bishop on c3, taking a look at the knight, and behind that the rook on h8. But yeah, we'll find out. And who was it going to find out? Yeah, ET said you'll see in a couple moves. Okay, so I guess you learned it. And I also liked your comment, ET. You asked, yes, there was no way to interrupt that other ChatGPT model, and you just had to endure the rambling, more or less. Okay, so bishop took, pawn took the c3, and we continue here. Probably a little faster than before, because I'm tired. I don't know about you. It's a Friday night. It's midnight here now. Okay. So the taking started, and yeah, what to do with the white here? I think for maintaining the super strong pawn center, there's no way now, because we have two defenders for e4 now by black. And yeah, so what to do here? I would probably take with the pawn, but that would leave the king with a real weak center position, and I could castle, of course, later on. But still, we find out, I guess. So, of course, chat, you are invited to give me hints. And what did he play? F took with the pawn, as I said. Okay. So now, of course, with black, I would take. And I don't like to play with only knights, and that's why I probably would take with the knight first. But here he took with the bishop. Okay. retake, and okay, so now 2 4 6 2 4 6 7. We're down a pawn as white, and yeah, so what's coming now? Yeah, the double attack on, yes, g4 with the queen, a double attack, attacking the pawn on g6 and the knight simultaneously. Okay, so let's see. Okay, the knight got rid, so the king is prevented from castling. Here we have a check. There's also no way to... I don't know about you guys. Do you know the game? I didn't. And it's amazing that both are kind of not able to castle during the game. So really interesting. Okay. Okay, so what now? If we exchange, he takes with the rook, attacking g2. I just bring it up to g3, and then a knight move to connect rooks, of course, and 2 4 6 2 4 6. So basically the position looks kind of equal. We have 3 pawn islands with white, 2 pawn islands with black, and interesting how this will go. ET, you said you looked it up. Okay, so then black could play queen g5 here. Okay, I'll scroll back. I go back in the game to see what ET said. ET said bishop d2. Okay, bishop, hold on, it is bishop d2 takes c3. Okay, can I do this here without? Yes, I can. Okay, so takes, then black could go queen g5. Ah, that's what you mean. Okay, you're just making way for the queen then. Okay, got it. What is so different about it? I mean, it attacks the g2 pawn, and it, yeah, here we have a rather really defensive, not defensive, but inactive queen, and on g5, of course, she's way better. But I could just bring, oh, sorry guys, I could just bring back the pawn and force her away again. So don't really know here, but we continue. Okay, so we were here. We got that one, and take, and now black's turn. Ah, now I get it, ET. Okay, after the knight took on e4, then queen g5 keeps the extra pawn. Okay. Yes, we had the knight here, and okay. So, if I would be black, I would take care of that knight. The knight looks so ugly, still undeveloped, and just hindering connecting powers on the 8th rank. So, what did he do? First, that's what he played. Likes to exchange queens probably. White retreats, attacking the rook. So now knight c6. That would have been my first intuition. That's perfectly fine. Ella, Adam, hey, you're in chat. Hey, how are you? I'm still good, Ella. How are you? Right, so we are reviewing a master game here and need to find the moves. Hold on. So knight c6, that's good. What to do here? Here, same thing for white. The knight is super inactive. So the knight, you see, guys, I don't really take a look at the moves. I first try to get my own ideas in. Okay, so knight on the rim looks dim, but probably he likes to have it on f4. Great coming up. Now white. Yep, I would have taken the other one probably, but I don't really think deeply here now. Okay, so let's see. We have again the try to exchange the queens. This time it has been accepted. Take, take. Okay. Knight fork on g6. How to be prevented? Probably with which rook? I would go for the h7 rook because I wouldn't like to give up the f file for white. Okay, and that's what he did. Okay, and now okay, it aims for g2. So if the knight goes away, then I would have a nice check with also the possibility to get h2. Check first and probably a d8 coming. Nope. But this gives a free... of course he cannot do that because then the rook would have been taken. Okay, but now I get the pawn with the check. Okay. And where to go? Only one move if I'd like to take the rook. Yes. Okay, now we have that g2 pawn to take care of. So probably just g3 for now. Nope, he keeps the pressure. Okay. Check. But why the check? Of course, if he takes, I take the rook. No, of course I don't take the rook. Huh? It's check, and I can just take. What am I overseeing here? Okay. So if he takes with the pawn, I just go rook a1 to e1, check, and then he has to move out of the way and I win the rook. Okay, so that's clever. He is not allowed to take. And what are his next moves? So basically I cannot take, so I have 3 squares to go to. It is d6, c7, d8. Did I say c7? Of course, that's rubbish. I meant I have d8, d6, and e8. Okay, I need to stay on e8 if I want to take keep my rook. That works. And what now? Basically, we can do this forever. And he starts doing it forever. Okay. Again. And now we would have a draw by 3 move repetition. But Alekhine decided not to do that. So he takes with the king, and now we have this move. Why did he play the... Yeah, of course it was attacked, and it protects the g2 square pawn, so that is all good. Take. Yes, no. Nope. He defends it, which is wise, I think. Good choice. Now we should be scared about f7. Don't know. I don't think so. Okay, forcing that to go away. Not on the rim to a5. Yeah, there would be just no use for it. Okay, good. Very active king. And how is he saying that? Yeah, ET. Thank you for joining us here and for being so active in chat. That was really appreciated, of course. I hope you had fun with the ChatGPT language models, and yeah, I will continue that probably a little later with a shorter game and see if we can get through it with just the natural language model. We'll see. Okay, so thank you and have a good night. Okay, now we have that king e4, very active king. Going here to h5. Oh, sorry. I think we still need to find a way to get the pawn super active, and of course black, I'm sure, would have loved to go to rook f2, but then we would have a fork by the knight, forking the rook on f2 and the pawn on h6. So he also couldn't have retreated again to f6 defending it, because the knight is on g4 just taking the rook. Okay, so let's do this a little quicker. Sorry guys that we cannot do this so deeply, but we just continue here. And now the rook move, which is fine. Take, okay, and now it's a battle that I hate. I don't like these endgames because there's so much to calculate, like really much. Yeah. So I think going back to e3 and pushing the pawns, we'll see what happens. Yes, correct, predicted. And here, yes, also again correct, predicted. But Barlind, my coach, he said, Jan, these endgames, they can be just be calculated by brutal force. You just have to push yourself doing that, and don't play endgames by intuition. That usually won't work. So I just played by intuition, got the moves the grandmasters he did, but there was just pure luck, I think. Okay, so we're attacking this, and he has 2 moves. It is g5 or h1, and I would go for g5. Oh, it's L. I was sleeping, sorry. So why did this happen? Okay, okay, it was take. Okay, so here we are in now. Yeah, I think Black's knight want to go to f6, and that's the reason for the move here. Check, take. Okay, and now I think there is no stopping of the pawns on both sides. Although we just lost material, but it was just a very clever way to get rid out of the pawns in the center. And yeah, in this position, I think it is super tough for Black to defend it, if not possible. So we see, yes, getting over to eat more pawns. Oh, he went back. So why did he go back? Because I believe he likes to still have the pawns on d5 and c4. But that is protected. I would have gone b7 to eat more pawns, but maybe I'm just greedy. I don't know. What do you think, chat? So, the idea here, why not go to b7 and take that pawn? I don't know. But this is so easy to see that there must be something deeper behind the d7 move. And now, according to the guide from the dojo, I should spend 2 to 10 minutes to think it through, but I'm so tired I'm not doing that. I hope you are fine with me for that. We'll find out what happens here. I really don't know. Check. Now back. Check. Same position. Okay. Alekhine could agree for draw here now, I think, but he chose chosen. He has chosen to do something else. Here the pawn is gone, no chance. Goes back. Okay, and I think I'm not too familiar with pawn structures in the endgame and so on, but here he could. Well, if I just take, I take here and then. Okay, it's all about getting past pawns, I believe, here now. Oh. Was that so easy? Nothing to be stopped? No. So the king is in the ideal position, yeah, because he can protect the pawn's way to promoting. Is that the reason why he didn't go to b7, not giving up that perfect square? Maybe. Okay. So let's just check the rest here. Done. And now it should be a one game, but it's not because of that super fork. And now we have this here. And this is an easy one game because the king needs to protect the H file. Otherwise, we have a promoting pawn, and the rest of the day, while Black keeps on protecting, he can just eat the black pawns and just walk through with the white pawns. Okay, so do we see how this happens? Yes. Okay, take. Interesting. Now he goes to b5. I would have gone to d5 to trying to cut the king off, but there is no chance to cut the king off as he could just walk through to d8. Okay. So, and if I take here now, I have this extra pawn, and I can immediately again go to the b7 square, protecting it from the black rook who is coming into the game. Oh, he's not deciding for that, because if he goes up, the king can reach, I believe. Okay, here we go. Strange move again, and now it's just a nice walk through. Yes. Yes. White wins. Okay. So that was nice to look through all of that, of course, and the dojo said, hold on, where is the guide? I wanted to take a look at the guide. Goals: learn at least 3 ideas from each game. This could include tactical, strategical patterns that you haven't seen before, opening principles, endgame concepts. Well, I identified the endgame concept of having passed pawns on the left and the right of the board. So that is not possible for the black pawn or the black king, sorry, to defend both. Is it possible? So I think we're good here. And look at the position, that is okay. What was the narrative of the game? So I think, fight for the center pawns, then a pawn was lost, and did the winning player convert their advantage to sacrifices tactics? Yes, lots of exchanges, and then just having the pawns left and having the better pawn positions to do that. Okay, that is fine. Okay. Of course, I would need to go through the game deeper, but I'm tired, it's late, and I think this was a good start for such a thing. Of course, I would like to do this with a dojo partner in real life, but maybe we can get somebody else on stream a little later. And just to summarize this, it was a wonderful stream. Finding out the capabilities of the current ChatGPT models. And what I now need to do is finishing this here. So I studied a master game. Well, not deep, but I think okay for today. Put it to 2. And the question, of course, is, how long did it take? We chatted a long while. We're now into 184, so I think talking about the position was like only close to an hour. So I just put in 1 hour, and am good with that. So I could click on update. We're good. Yeah, the bar went to 2 out of 27, and we're all good. So, question to chat. Do you have questions? Yes or no? Otherwise, I just say thank you very much for enduring ChatGPT and also my questions to ChatGPT, of course. I wish you a very good night, and if you'd like the stream, subscribe, like, and just give it a thumbs up. That is always appreciated, of course, and helps the channel and myself, or me in this case. Okay, so have a very good night, and thank you. Bye.